Hi, this is Darren from Macquarie Warrants, here to share with you the market action we saw this month and what warrant investors can look out for in the next 2 weeks. Here is a summary of some of the global and local happenings in September. This week, the FOMC lowered the US's economic projections, with the Fed fund rate expected to stay within the 0 to 0.25% range to 2023. Additionally, global tech stocks have also seen a pullback following its historic rally. In Singapore, DBS is one of the worst performing stocks month to date, following MAS's stats that bank lending has slid for the 5th straight month, ending July. Meanwhile, Mapletree Commercial Trust and SGX emerged amongst the best index performers, with SGX call warrants up 40% in just 5 trading days, and Mapletree Commercial Trust call warrants gaining 34% over the past 1.5 months. So, what are call warrants? Call warrants move in line with the underlying they follow, meaning if the underlying stock or index went up, so will the call warrants. Put warrants move inversely from the underlying and will increase in price when the underlying stock or index falls. This month, the MAS released July stats on Singapore banks, showing that lending slid for the 5th straight month. This was mainly attributed to a slowdown in business loans, as manufacturing, general commerce, transport, and business services sectors are hard hit from the economic slowdown. Consequently, the local bank with the most concentrated exposure to Singapore, DBS, saw a share price fall 3.9% this month to finish as one of the worst performing stocks in the SCI month to date. Investors who had taken a bearish position on DBS in September via put warrants will have seen their put warrant jump 16% on DBS's 4% decline this month to date. The reason you see a much larger, magnified percentage price move in warrants compared to the underlying shares is due to the gearing effect. So how do you know how much more a warrant will move given move in the underlying price in the short term? For that, investors can refer to the effective gearing level as an indication. Say if a warrant had an effective gearing of 10 times, it means the warrant will move around 10% for every 1% move in the underlying share or index it tracks. The gearing effect is one of the reasons that make warrants popular, but notes that gearing can work both ways. Meaning, warrants will also move in a bigger magnitude or percentage change than the percentage change move in the underlying should you get your view wrong. Switching our attention to some of the top stock performers in Singapore, SGX shares are up 6.1% since 11 September. This came after reports of high market turnover and daily average traded value in August 2020 compared to a year ago, which was contributed by portfolio repositioning by companies in the Singapore cash equity market. Specifically, SGX shares began moving higher from 11 September, the day we listed new warrants over SGX and highlighted the higher turnover stats SGX published that morning. SGX was up 6% in the next 5 trading days. On the back of that, SGX call warrants were up 40%, while the put warrants are down 24%. Another stellar index outperformer this month is Mapletree Commercial Trust. The REIT has been slowly climbing higher since the start of August to be up 11% in the last 1.5 months. Over the same period, the Mapletree Commercial Trust call warrants went from 3.2 cents on 3rd August to close at 4.3 cents on 18 September, a 34% gain over 1.5 months. This warrant demonstrates how gearing from warrants generate magnified returns to offset the holding cost of a warrant over 1.5 months. For more stock market views on the Singapore market, visit the link in the description to recap on a webinar conducted by investment strategist Philip Teo. In the webinar, Philip shares his insights on potential short-term moves to look out for in the SCI, DBS, Mapletree Commercial Trust, ComfortDelgro, and more. To estimate how much you should be investing into warrants, you can also use effective gearing as a guide. As an example, for a shareholder with 100,000 worth of XYZ shares in a portfolio and wishes to hedge against a short-term downward move in the shares, can consider a put warrant. If this put warrant has a 10 times gearing, the shareholder needs only to invest into the put warrant an amount that is 10 times less than his share exposure of 100,000. That is, the XYZ shareholder can buy 10,000 worth of this put warrants. Macquarie Warrants is now rewarding 4 investors with $1,000 this month for those who trade in STI or Singapore stock warrants amid realized gains of 20%. As you can see from the above examples, it's not difficult to achieve more than 20% gains with warrants. Log on to warrants.com.sg to find out how to submit your warrant trades to win. I hope you have enjoyed this month's market commentary. Investors who are specified investment products qualified can trade warrants via their online trading account, the same way they would trade shares. For further details on trading warrants, And to find out if you're qualified to trade warrants, click on the link in the description or feel free to contact us at our warrant hotline. Lastly, don't miss out on the next video and exciting warrant news by subscribing to our channels on YouTube, Telegram, and Facebook.